Georgetown University in DC, Pastor Mark Burns, inflammable as always, but a fiery debater, spiritual advisor to President Trump. St. Alexander Shajan is a grassroots Republican strategist, hardcore Trump supporter. And we have Jennifer Zeng, member of the International Press Association, CCP and China Affairs. She's joining us from Washington, D.C. I'm not going to classify her position tonight. So where do we stand here today? Now, Pastor, I start with you. You see, we have a very tough Prime Minister. He's given a clear statement today. He says, see, you can do what you want. And his exact words are, I'm willing to pay any price, personally and in any way, but for me only three things matter. India, India, India. Indian farmers, Indian dairy producers, and the people of India, Indian fishermen. So this has failed, Pastor. The pressure tactic has failed. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I don't think that it's most definitely too early to suggest that that has failed. The reality is this, and again, India is a growing power, and you guys are growing, but the Prime Minister is risking his legacy and the future of his election, because the reality is India cannot fight a long-term or survive a long-term trade war with the United States of America. The reality is we're 7 times larger in your economy than India is. India still depends heavily on access to our markets. And so for a long term, India just simply cannot survive. You have, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and others who are nipping at the butt. And so
sorry, but
you can laugh, but my point is the Prime Minister, how smart and wise that he may be, you have folks who are nipping at the butt, and they're niching, at the opportunity, because if the economy of India continues to fail, and it will, in a long-term trade war with America. But let me also say this. You're speaking about why allowing China to buy oil and then punishing India, who's supposed to be our friends. Let's just be clear. China is a dictator communist country. They align with Russia. You don't treat your adversaries the same as you treat your allies. There's a difference. China aligns with Russia. They are adversaries to America. And so India, on the other hand, is a strategic partner. We are supposed to be hand in hand together. One, you punish. China, you punish. India should know better. The president's desire is to end the war in Ukraine. Why would we, as friends, allow India to fund a warlord dictator war in Russia by buying cheap Russian oil, while at the same time gain access to the massive U.S. markets that India right now so heavily depends on for the economy? And so it is not fair. You can't have both. You're literally playing what we would call on the fence, and you can't do that. Either we are friends or we're not. The president, and not only that, India risks not just alienating the United States of America, but you also risk alienating your position on a global stage with the European nations who are also punishing Russia for viciously attacking Ukraine. So you're not just fighting the United States of America in the trade war. You're risking losing your national position, your global, position on the world stage, because other European nations are joining in these very same sanctions against Russia.
Have you finished? Have you finished, Pastor? Are you going to expend all your armory right in the first answer tonight? Because you see,
no.
I can, now listen, Pastor. I will only say 2 things to you. I'll pass it on after that. First of all, be very clear about one thing. Don't talk like that. Don't say, who are you? Who are you? I would say, who are you? 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. When you keep saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, I would turn around to you and say, Pastor, you Americans, who are you to even say anything to us? You have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have a bloated...
Well, I agree.
1 minute, allow me now. Now listen to me when I'm giving it back hard, right? Yeah, I haven't even pulled out my uppercut. Now the question is here today, Pastor. When you say this, you got to understand how small you actually are, how insignificant you are. Because you are I'll tell you why. Because as far as we are concerned, if we have exports of about $800 billion or so with you, this impacts 5% of that. 5%. You do not impact our GDP more than 0.2%. In terms of tariffs, if you impose 50% to 100%, you will at the most impact $40 billion. That is very small for a country of India's size. That's 5% of our exports to you. We can live with that. So you are not important, point number one. Okay? Please be absolutely and clinically clear about it. It does not affect us. Clear? Now I repeat that question to you. Well, you obviously don't understand economics, so you're laughing there. Or you don't have an answer to me, probably. You don't have an answer to me. That's more likely, the more likely. Now, point is, when he was asked, why do you import uranium hexafluoride from Russia? Trump looked like a thief who'd been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He said, I'm not going to deny it. He could have denied it, but he did not, because a brave reporter asked him that you're such a hypocrite. You are buying uranium hexafluoride for your nuclear plants from a country that gives it to you, which is Russia. And Trump tried to look away. He should have given a clear answer there. He did not. Just the way you can't answer any of my questions here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can't. Why do you buy uranium hexafluoride and palladium from Russia? I'll play the soundbite, ladies and gentlemen. Just listen to this one, okay? Just look at how hesitant he looks. Just look at his body language out there. Let's play it. Let's play it with that window. Let's play it.
India says that the U.S. imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, please.